So I just watched the new Ultraman movie, Ultraman Rising, and very unsurprisingly, it's amazing. Look at my channel, you can see this other video I made about how much the trailer for this movie made me get into Ultraman and how kind of a fan now. And in that video I said that even if this movie wasn't good, I would still appreciate it for getting me into Ultraman, because I really like the character and the franchise. But I was very happy to see that this movie was so good. And it wasn't surprising because, you know, this is one of those movies that you can watch the trailer and you can tell like, yeah, this is gonna be a good movie. There's like no doubt. It's a weird thing just to be like that, because sometimes a trailer can trick you, make you think a movie's gonna be good, but then it isn't. But in this case, it just was amazing. The trailer was awesome. I watched it many times, and there was a little voice in the back of my mind that was like, man, if this movie sucks, I'm gonna be so sad. But thankfully, that wasn't the case. This movie is, damn, dude, it's so good. I don't want to spoil it too much because I do want you guys to go and watch it because it's really good, and I want this sort of movie to be supported. I want people to watch it because it's very important. So this movie was the passion project of a director called Shannon Tindall. Now I'm not super familiar with who that is, but apparently he was trying to get this project picked up by a bunch of other people and he had no luck for like a decade until he got into Netflix. Initially it was gonna be original story about a giant superhero that was supposed to take care of a baby kaiju, the offspring of his greatest enemy, which is the plot of the movie, of this movie, Ultraman Rising. And initially it was very much inspired by Ultraman. He was just gonna do a different thing. But Netflix was the one who suggested, I think, that he just get the rights for Ultraman and make this an Ultraman movie. And that's what happened. And thankfully, and I'm very glad because Ultraman is cool and I love him. It's really weird as someone who talks about movies when we're talking about a good movie, because talking about bad movies is so easy. It's really easy to point and laugh at something and be like, yeah, you can clearly tell why this movie sucks. But with a great movie like this, you really have to be careful because it's hard to put into words how something like this makes you feel, how to properly describe how a great movie like this just gets you. Because if this movie, I just felt, I was just watching this movie and feeling things, feeling great things, being happy that I was watching such a wonderfully made movie. I guess to start off, there's the animation. Of course, there's no comment there. I mean, there's many comments. I can talk all day about this animation. It's basically peak animation. I think this might be the best 3D animated movie I've seen in a long time, ever since, I guess, the Mario movies. Call me old-fashioned, but I think the Mario movie is just really beautiful. But if you were talking style, like this unique style that we see in like Spider-Verse or the new animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie or Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, those movies have a style. It has this, you know, I don't know how to describe it, but these low frames and brushes and a very specific way that they did it. And that's very present in Ultraman Rising. It clearly has some inspiration from those movies. And that's great because that's kind of a new trend and that I support 100%. It's a great trend in making animated movies that just look so unique and beautiful like this. And Ultraman, I think, really perfected it. Maybe not perfected it, you can always get better, of course, but this is just spectacular. This is easily the best looking movie of this year. In fact, I would even say that this is the best movie I've seen this year so far. I've seen some good movies. There was Godzilla, Godzilla and Kong. I love that movie, but I mean, you know, that's just, it's, you know, it's a fun movie. But man, Ultraman Rising, Jesus Christ, it's such a good movie. Such a good movie. I should stop just saying that this is such a good movie and just try to articulate why I think it is. So yeah, the animation, it's a great looking movie. I think it might be a bit slow for a few people because this is a movie that really takes its time to develop the characters and develop their relationships and to really dwell on how they're feeling, especially our main character. Ken Sato is Ultraman. He is actually the son of Ultraman. So basically the Ultraman mantle is a thing passed down from generation to generation. His father was the original Ultraman and he's taking on the mantle after his father couldn't do it anymore. So yeah, Ken is easily one of the best parts of the movie. He's just such a well-developed character. He starts off kind of like Cusco, not really. He's not like an asshole. He's not like a jerk. He's just a little bit of he's way over his head. He thinks he's the best of baseball or whatever, that he can do anything. But you can tell he has his problems. He has a lot of pressure being this very famous baseball player and starting to become Ultraman. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and you can really see all this pressure take a toll on him, and it makes you relate to him very well. You just feel bad for him when he's feeling bad. You want him to succeed. You want him to become a better person. And I don't think he was a bad person. Like I said, he was a bit of a jerk, maybe a little bit, not really. He just way over his head. But you feel for him. You see his struggle, and you want him to get past it. And seeing him struggle with everything and being sad about his career, about being a superhero and having to take care of a giant baby is very heartwarming. His relationship with the baby, you can feel for him when he struggles, and that's very important, and they did that very well. You can feel his sadness when it's about his relationship with his dad, that it's kind of strained. They portray that very well. They make the father-son relationship very well established, and how they're very strained and how they get back together, and it's very good. It's really good. It's one of the best parts of the movie, and it's one of the reasons that people may think that this movie is a bit slow, at least in the second act, maybe, because it really takes its time developing all those aspects. The kaiju action, there's a bunch, not a bunch, there's a good amount, and it's very good, very well done. The fighting, oh my. They use the classic Ultraman moves in very tasteful ways. It's very good, and it's good kaiju action, but there's a good amount of time where you don't even see Ultraman as Ultraman. You know, you see Ken, but he's on his normal form, or he's using the Ultraman form to babysit his new found daughter. And it's good, and people may be put off a little bit by this because maybe they wish it was more action-packed or something, and I can see that, but I really appreciate the work they put into developing these characters, and it paid off really well, I think. I do maybe wish there was a little bit more action. I think that could work better in the middle section over there, but what we had was good, and it works. There's a baby kaiju. I was worried when they announced this movie and I saw the trailer and stuff, and it was gonna be about Ultraman raising a baby. I had some doubts because, you know, I wanted it to be about Ultraman fighting giant monsters, and that's it. And now that I think about it, maybe I was kind of limiting my viewing experience by thinking that way. I thought maybe the baby was gonna be annoying or something, but no, not at all. She's very adorable. Her name is Amy. She's the baby kaiju, and she's honestly one of the best parts of the movie as well. And the whole thing is Ultraman bonding with her and starting to become a father to this baby, and it's really, really wholesome. It's really, really well done. I really started feeling for them as a duo, as a father and daughter. Ultraman himself, when he starts really caring for the baby, it's really, really heartwarming. It's really, really well done how he really starts caring for her. The way it's done is perfect for me. I really, really loved it, and it leads to better things as well, because his struggles as a father to the baby is what gets him to talk to his father and sort things out with him. It was a really good way to have them be back together and reconcile in a very natural way. The baby, like I said, she's very cute, very wholesome, but there's a few, you know, like fart jokes. There's a few gross humor that I don't really like, which I feel like in a movie like this that is so well executed and well put together, maybe we could do without those. It feels like a bit of, you know, Sony animation humor or fucking, I don't know, Illumination humor. But I like it. It very brief, and it doesn't take you out of the movie. I just felt like I should complain a little bit about the movie since I only seem to talk about the good things in it, because, I mean, there's 99% good things in this movie. It's just really, really good. But yeah, while I don't like those kind of jokes, it's fine. You can look past it, and maybe if you're different than me, you might not even care at all. Maybe it's just me being nitpicky, but whatever. There's also the villain. I feel like the villain was another standout of the movie. Maybe he could use a little bit more development, maybe a little bit more, just a little bit more. I think I mean, maybe I'm being kind of picky here, because he's actually really, really good. He's like the CEO of a kaiju force company, because basically he just wants to kill all kaiju, and his motivations they're not the most original, because basically kaiju were responsible for the death of his family, so he wants, you know, to kill all kaiju Eren Yeager style. And it's not the most original motivation, but it's one that we can relate to. It's easily relatable, I guess. And it works. It really works because he's not evil. The villain is not evil. You can see him struggle, you can see his point of view, and something that really takes me out of a villain experience, I guess, is when a villain is just so evil that they'll just, kill their henchman for over nothing, and you just be needlessly evil. I mean, I can appreciate a villain that is just evil for evil's sake, like Palpatine or something, but in a movie like this, I want a well-developed villain, someone that we can see why they're doing what they're doing. So yeah, this villain is basically what I wanted. He's well developed. They make a point to establish that he's not evil. He cares for the people around him. There's even a point where he specifically tells the people around him to evacuate because he doesn't want anyone to be hurt. And that was great. I love that they included that. I love that he's a three-dimensional person. So yeah, the villain is good. The whole thing with him really worked for me. This movie just made me feel so much. There's emotional moments. I almost cried. And I'm a big crybaby, so that's not a surprise, but yeah. This is a minor spoiler, I guess, but there's the subplot that Ken's mother is missing, and I was like, oh, she's missing, she's definitely alive, she's gonna appear later in the movie. And I was very glad that she actually didn't appear, because if she appeared, I feel like that would take away from what we have going on with his father and Ken, because her appearing would maybe throw off the balance of this good development that we're having with Ken and his father, how they're going back together and fixing their strained relationship, and the appearance of his mother would take away from that, would take an attention away from that, I think. So I'm glad that she didn't appear. I'm not gonna say if she's alive or not, maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I love Ken's development into a better person, a better teen working person. It's very good. The balance of him becoming a better person, learning to become better, with him taking care of the baby, and how those two things influence each other is very noticeable and very well done. This movie is just a masterclass. I love it. This is easily the best movie I've seen so far this year. But I don't want to spoil too much about this movie. I want you guys to go and watch it because it is absolutely fantastic. 100% worth your time. Please watch Ultraman Rising. Okay, bye.